It all began on a beautiful spring morning in the village of Whistler, British Columbia. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the village was bustling with life. In the heart of the village was a small cafe, with tables outside, and at one of these tables sat a young man named Nick. Nick was a handsome, young man with a charming smile and a carefree spirit. He had just arrived in Whistler, eager to explore the mountains and escape the hustle and bustle of the city. As he sipped his coffee and gazed out at the village, he couldn't help but feel a sense of peace wash over him. However, this peace was short-lived as he noticed a figure across the street. It was a young woman, watching him carefully. She was about 25 years old, with long, curly hair and bright, blue eyes. She was dressed in a simple, yet elegant, blue dress and was observing him intently. Nick was intrigued. He had never seen this girl before, and she seemed to be observing him with great interest. He leaned back in his chair and continued to watch her, trying to figure out who she was and why she was so interested in him. Suddenly, the girl turned and walked away, leaving Nick feeling even more intrigued. He quickly finished his coffee and made his way across the street, determined to find out who this mysterious girl was. As he approached her, she turned and smiled warmly at him. "Hello," she said in a soft, gentle voice. "I'm Ava. And you are?" Nick was momentarily taken aback by her beauty, but quickly regained his composure. "I'm Nick," he said, smiling. "It's nice to meet you." Ava smiled back, and the two of them chatted for a few minutes, discussing the village, the mountains, and the weather. They quickly discovered that they had a lot in common, and soon they were laughing and joking like old friends. As their conversation came to an end, Ava turned to Nick and said, "I'd love to show you around Whistler, if you're interested." Nick was overjoyed. He had been eager to explore the village, and now he would have the perfect guide. He smiled and replied, "I'd love that. Let's go." And so, it all began on a beautiful spring morning in a village called Whistler, in Canada. A young man, a cafe, and a girl across the street. Little did Nick know that this chance encounter would lead him on a journey of discovery and adventure, as he uncovered the secrets of the village and fell deeply in love with Ava. As Nick and Ava walked through the village, he couldn't help but feel captivated by her. She was charming, intelligent, and beautiful, and he found himself drawn to her in a way that he had never experienced before. Ava, meanwhile, seemed equally smitten with Nick. She was fascinated by the stories of his travels and his adventurous spirit, and she was eager to share her own experiences with him. As they walked, Ava told Nick about her life in Whistler. She had grown up in the village and had lived there her entire life. She was a writer, and she spent her days writing poetry and exploring the mountains. She was passionate about the village and the people who lived there, and she was eager to share her love of the area with Nick. Nick listened intently, captivated by her stories and her passion. He was quickly falling in love with Ava, and he found himself longing to spend more time with her. After several hours of exploring the village, Nick and Ava returned to the cafe. They sat at the same table as before, and Nick ordered 2 coffees. As they sipped their drinks, Nick couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness wash over him. "What's wrong?" Ava asked, noticing the look of sadness on his face. "I don't want this day to end," Nick replied. "I've never felt so alive and so at peace as I do when I'm with you." Ava smiled warmly at him. "Me neither," she said. "I feel like I've known you my entire life." Nick leaned forward, and Ava met him halfway. Their lips met in a soft, tender kiss, and they both knew that they had found something special in each other. As they parted, Ava looked at Nick with a sense of wonder in her eyes. "I can't believe this is happening," she said. "I feel like I'm in a dream." Nick smiled, and took her hand. "Me too," he said, "but I don't want to wake up." And so, Nick and Ava spent the rest of the day exploring the village, talking and laughing. As they began to fall deeply in love, they both knew that they had found something special in each other, and they were both eager to see where their journey would take them. As they walked through the village, hand in hand, they both felt a sense of happiness and peace wash over them. They had both found what they were looking for, and they were both eager to see where their love would take them. As Nick and Ava continued to spend time together, they noticed that someone was always watching them. No matter where they went or what they did, they felt like they were being followed. They both tried to ignore it, assuming that it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. However, the feeling only grew stronger, and they soon realized that there was indeed someone following them. They started to become paranoid and felt like they were always being watched. It was starting to affect their relationship, and they found themselves spending less and less time together. Nick and Ava decided to confront the person following them, and they discovered that it was Ava's ex-boyfriend, who was jealous of their relationship. He had been following them, trying to find out more about Nick, and he had been threatening to harm him. Nick was furious and decided to take matters into his own hands. He confronted Ava's ex-boyfriend, telling him that he would not tolerate any more of his behavior. The ex-boyfriend was intimidated by Nick's determination, and he backed down. Nick and Ava were finally able to enjoy their relationship without the watchful eye of Ava's ex-boyfriend. They spent more and more time together, exploring the village and enjoying each other's company. However, Nick soon realized that the watchful eye wasn't just limited to Ava's ex-boyfriend. There seemed to be someone else who was following them as well. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but he felt like they were being watched even when they were alone. Nick decided to take action once again, and he set out to discover who was following them. He started to do some research, asking questions and talking to people in the village. Eventually, he discovered that it was a mysterious figure known only as the Watchman. The Watchman was rumored to be a ghost, who was said to be watching over the village and its people. Nick was skeptical at first, but as he continued to dig deeper, he realized that the rumors were true. The Watchman was indeed real, and he was watching over them. Nick and Ava were both amazed by this discovery, and they decided to learn more about the Watchman and his purpose. They spent hours talking to people in the village, reading old books, and exploring the mountains. As they learned more about the Watchman, they discovered that he was a protector, a guardian of the village, who had been watching over the people for centuries. He was the reason why the village was so peaceful and safe, and he was the reason why Nick and Ava had fallen in love. Nick and Ava were both filled with a sense of awe and gratitude, and they were grateful to the Watchman for bringing them together. They continued to explore the village, always feeling like they were being watched over, and they continued to fall deeper in love with each other every day. And so, their journey continued, as they explored the village, learned more about the Watchman, and discovered the true meaning of love and happiness. They knew that they would always be watched over by the Watchman, and they would always be grateful for the love that they had found in each other. Nick and Ava's curiosity about the Watchman only grew stronger, and they decided to climb to the top of the mountain where it was said that he lived. They spent days preparing for the climb, gathering supplies, and researching the best routes. As they reached the summit, they were greeted by a magnificent view of the village and the surrounding mountains. They were also greeted by a surprise visitor, the Watchman himself. He was a mysterious figure, shrouded in a long, dark cloak. Nick and Ava were both intimidated and amazed at the same time. They approached him cautiously, not sure what to expect. The Watchman welcomed them, and he told them about his purpose and his role in the village. He explained that he had been watching over the village for centuries, and that he was there to protect its people and its secrets. Nick and Ava listened intently as the watchman told them about the village's rich history, and how it had been protected from the outside world for generations. They were amazed by the depth of knowledge and the wisdom that he possessed. The watchman also told them about a mysterious artifact that was hidden in the village, and how it was protected by the village elders. He explained that the artifact was incredibly powerful, and that it had the ability to change the course of history. Nick and Ava were both fascinated by this information, and they decided to try to find the artifact. They set out on a journey to discover more about the artifact and its history, visiting the village elders and speaking to the people of the village. As they learned more about the artifact, they discovered that it was a key to unlocking the secrets of the village and its past. They also discovered that there were others who were searching for the artifact, including Ava's ex-boyfriend. Nick and Ava decided to take action, and they set out to protect the artifact from falling into the wrong hands. They worked together, using their skills and their knowledge to keep the artifact safe. As they continued their journey, they encountered many challenges and obstacles, but they were determined to succeed. They were driven by their love for each other and their commitment to protecting the village and its secrets. Eventually, they were able to find the artifact, and they successfully protected it from those who sought to use it for evil purposes. They brought it to the watchman, who was proud of their efforts and their bravery. The watchman thanked them for their hard work, and he told them that their love and determination had helped to keep the village safe. He also told them that they were the chosen ones, chosen to protect the village and its secrets for generations to come. Nick and Ava were both amazed and grateful, and they were honored to have been chosen for such an important task. They continued to explore the village, always feeling like the watchman was watching over them, and they continued to fall deeper in love with each other every day. And so, their journey continued, as they explored the village, learned more about the watchman and the artifact, and discovered the true meaning of love and duty. They knew that they would always be watched over by the watchman, and they would always be grateful for the love that they had found in each other. Nick and Ava's journey to discover the truth about the artifact was not without its challenges. They encountered many obstacles along the way, from treacherous terrain to dangerous creatures lurking in the shadows. Despite these obstacles, they continued their journey, driven by their desire to uncover the secrets of the artifact and the village. They visited ancient ruins, explored dark caves, and ventured into the unknown, always on the lookout for clues about the artifact's true power. Along the way, they also learned about the history of the village and its people. They discovered that the village had been founded by a group of settlers who had fled from the chaos and destruction of the world outside. They had established the village as a sanctuary, a place where they could live in peace and security. Nick and Ava were inspired by the bravery and determination of these settlers, and they felt a deep connection to the village and its people. They were determined to protect the artifact and the village, just as the settlers had protected it centuries before. As they continued their journey, they encountered many other travelers who were searching for the artifact. Some of these travelers were seeking the artifact for their own selfish reasons, while others were searching for answers about the village's history and its secrets. Nick and Ava worked together to decipher the clues that they had gathered, and they slowly began to piece together the story of the artifact and the village. They discovered that the artifact was not just a powerful tool, but it was also a symbol of hope and unity. As they continued their journey, they encountered a group of travelers who were led by Ava's ex-boyfriend. He was seeking the artifact for his own selfish reasons, and he was determined to find it at any cost. Nick and Ava worked together to outwit their rivals and protect the artifact. They used their skills and their knowledge to evade the other travelers and to keep the artifact out of their hands. Finally, they reached the end of their journey, and they discovered the truth about the artifact. They learned that it was not just a symbol of hope and unity, but was also a source of incredible power. Nick and Ava were amazed by what they had learned, and they felt a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. They had succeeded in their journey, and they had discovered the truth about the artifact and the village. And so, they returned to the village, with the artifact in hand, and they were greeted with great celebration. The village elders thanked them for their bravery and their hard work, and they presented them with a medal of honor. Nick and Ava were proud to have played a part in the story of the village, and they were grateful for the love and support that they had received from the people of the village. They knew that they would always be remembered as the ones who had discovered the truth about the artifact and the village. And as they looked out over the village, they knew that they had found a place where they truly belonged, a place where they could live in peace and security, surrounded by the love and support of their friends and family. And they knew that they would always be watched over by the watchman, who had guided them on their journey of discovery. Nick and Ava's discovery of the true power of the artifact opened the doors to many secrets about the village. They learned that the village was much more than just a small settlement in the mountains. It was a place where ancient knowledge and magic were kept safe from the outside world. The villagers were descendants of a powerful and wise race, who had lived in the area for thousands of years. They possessed knowledge and abilities beyond anything that Nick and Ava had ever seen, and they were determined to protect their secrets from outsiders. The artifact was the key to unlocking these secrets, and it was guarded with great care by the villagers. It was only passed down to those who were deemed worthy and deserving, and it was never to be used for evil or selfish purposes. Nick and Ava were fascinated by the ancient knowledge and magic of the village, and they were eager to learn more. They spent countless hours studying the texts and artifacts that were kept in the village's archives, and they were amazed by what they learned. They discovered that the village was home to many powerful spells and incantations, and that the villagers possessed the ability to control the elements and communicate with the spirits of the dead. They also learned about the powerful creatures that lived in the area, and about the dangers that threatened the village. Nick and Ava were determined to use their newfound knowledge and abilities to protect the village, and they spent many months training and honing their skills. They learned to cast powerful spells, control the elements, and communicate with the spirits of the dead. As they grew stronger and more confident in their abilities, they decided to set out on a new journey, to explore the surrounding areas and to seek out any threats to the village. They ventured into the unknown, facing danger and adversity at every turn, always guided by their unwavering determination to protect the village and its secrets. Their journey was long and treacherous, and they encountered many challenges along the way. They faced fierce creatures, treacherous terrain, and fierce storms, but they persevered, always driven by their desire to protect the village. As they explored the surrounding areas, they discovered many hidden secrets and ancient ruins, and they encountered many other travelers who were searching for the same knowledge and magic that they sought. Some of these travelers were friendly and helpful, while others were dangerous and cunning, seeking to use their newfound knowledge for evil purposes. Nick and Ava used their skills and their knowledge to outwit their rivals, and they protected the village from any threats that they encountered. They grew stronger and more confident with each passing day, and they knew that they were destined to become powerful protectors of the village and its secrets. Finally, after many months of traveling and exploring, Nick and Ava returned to the village, stronger and more powerful than ever. They were greeted with great celebration, and they were hailed as heroes for their bravery and determination. The village elders thanked them for their hard work and dedication, and they awarded them with the title of protectors of the village. They knew that Nick and Ava were the perfect guardians of the village's secrets, and they were confident that they would protect the village from any danger that might come their way. And so, Nick and Ava continued to live in the village, always watchful and always vigilant, ready to defend the village and its secrets from any threats that might arise. They knew that their journey was not yet over, and that there were many more secrets and adventures waiting for them in the future. But they were ready and eager to face whatever challenges lay ahead, always guided by their love. Nick and Ava's peaceful life in the village was about to take a sudden turn. They received word of a new threat, one that was far more dangerous than anything they had faced before. A powerful sorceress, known only as the Dark One, had emerged from the shadows and was determined to obtain the artifact that Nick and Ava were tasked with guarding. She was a formidable foe, with a powerful army of dark creatures at her command, and she was relentless in her pursuit of the artifact. Nick and Ava knew that they had to act fast, and they set out on a dangerous journey to stop the Dark One and protect the artifact. They journeyed through treacherous terrain and faced countless obstacles, determined to stop the Dark One and keep the artifact safe. As they traveled, they encountered strange and unusual creatures, and they encountered other travelers who were also seeking to stop the Dark One. Some of these travelers were helpful and provided valuable information, while others were treacherous and sought to use their newfound knowledge for evil purposes. Despite the many challenges that they faced, Nick and Ava remained determined to stop the Dark One and protect the artifact. They fought valiantly, using their magic and their wits to outwit their enemies and overcome any obstacles in their way. Just when they thought they were getting close to the Dark One, they encountered a sudden and unexpected twist in the tale. They discovered that the Dark One was actually Ava's long-lost sister, who had been taken by the forces of darkness when she was just a child. Ava was shocked by this revelation, and she was torn between her desire to protect the artifact and her love for her sister. She struggled with her emotions, trying to find a way to save her sister from the forces of darkness, while also protecting the artifact. Nick was determined to help Ava, and he was equally torn between his loyalty to the village and his love for Ava. He knew that they had to act fast, and he came up with a plan to save Ava's sister and stop the Dark One once and for all. Together, Nick and Ava journeyed deeper into the heart of darkness, facing their greatest challenges yet. They fought against impossible odds, using their magic and their wits to outwit the Dark One and save Ava's sister from the forces of darkness. Despite the many dangers that they faced, Nick and Ava remained steadfast in their determination to protect the artifact and save Ava's sister. They were stronger together, and they were guided by their love and their loyalty to each other. Finally, after a long and grueling battle, they emerged victorious. They saved Ava's sister, stopped the Dark One, and protected the artifact from falling into the wrong hands. Nick and Ava returned to the village as heroes, hailed by the villagers for their bravery and determination. They were given a warm welcome, and they were thanked for their hard work and dedication. But their journey was far from over, as they knew that there were many more challenges waiting for them in the future. Despite this, they remained confident and determined, always ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, guided by their love and their loyalty to each other. Nick and Ava were finally able to rest after their victory over the Dark One, but they soon discovered that their work was far from over. They received word that there was still a great threat looming over the village, and they were tasked with uncovering the truth behind this mysterious danger. The villagers were afraid, and Nick and Ava were determined to find out what was causing the fear and put a stop to it. They began their investigation, talking to the villagers and exploring the surrounding area to find any clues. As they delved deeper into the mystery, they encountered strange and mysterious symbols etched into the rocks, and they encountered strange creatures that seemed to be watching their every move. They also encountered travelers who were on a similar mission, and they shared information and worked together to uncover the truth. Despite the many obstacles they faced, Nick and Ava remained steadfast in their determination to uncover the truth. They were guided by their love and their loyalty to each other, and they were determined to find the source of the danger and put a stop to it. Finally, after many long days of searching, they discovered the source of the danger. It was a powerful evil entity known as the Shadow, who was determined to conquer the village and bring darkness to the world. Nick and Ava were horrified by this discovery, and they knew that they had to act fast to stop the Shadow. They gathered their allies and set out to confront the Shadow, determined to put an end to its evil once and for all. As they journeyed deeper into the heart of darkness, they encountered even greater challenges and obstacles. They fought against impossible odds, using their magic and their wits to overcome the Shadow's minions and defeat their enemy. Despite the many dangers that they faced, Nick and Ava remained steadfast in their determination to protect the village and defeat the Shadow. They were guided by their love and their loyalty to each other, and they were determined to see their mission through to the end. Finally, after a long and grueling battle, they emerged victorious. They defeated the Shadow, and the village was saved from its evil grasp. The villagers celebrated their victory, and Nick and Ava were hailed as heroes for their bravery and determination. But their journey was far from over, as they knew that there were still many challenges and dangers waiting for them in the future. Despite this, they remained confident and determined, always ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, guided by their love and their loyalty to each other. As Nick and Ava rested after their victory, they realized that their love for each other was the key to their success. They were stronger together, and they knew that they could conquer any challenge that lay ahead, as long as they remained together and were guided by their love for each other. As Nick and Ava settled into their new roles as protectors of the village, they realized that there was still much that they did not know about each other. They had become close over the course of their journey, but there were still many secrets and mysteries that lay between them. One day, Nick approached Ava and asked her about her past. He was curious about her story and why she had come to the village. Ava hesitated at first, but she eventually opened up and told Nick the truth. Ava revealed that she was not from the village, but was instead from a far-off land where she had lived a life of luxury and privilege. However, she had always felt unfulfilled and restless, and she longed for something more meaningful in her life. One day, she received a vision that led her to the village of Whistler, where she was drawn to the powerful magic that resided there. She felt a deep connection to the village, and she was determined to protect it from any harm. Nick was shocked by Ava's story, and he realized that there was much more to her than he had originally thought. He was amazed by her bravery and her determination, and he was filled with a new appreciation for her. Over the next few weeks, Nick and Ava grew even closer as they continued to protect the village from any threats that arose. They worked together to strengthen their powers, and they grew more confident in their abilities. As they continued their journey, they realized that they had finally found the meaning and purpose that they had been searching for. They were proud to call Whistler their home, and they were determined to protect it and the people who lived there. However, they also realized that their journey was far from over. There were still many challenges and dangers that lay ahead, and they were determined to face them with bravery and determination. Despite this, Nick and Ava were filled with a sense of peace and happiness, knowing that they had each other and the powerful love that they shared. They were confident that they could overcome any obstacle that lay ahead, as long as they remained together and were guided by their love for each other. As Nick and Ava settled into their new roles as protectors of the village, they knew that their journey had only just begun, but they were ready for anything that lay ahead, knowing that their love would see them through any challenges and dangers that lay ahead. Nick and Ava's journey had come to an end, but their love story was far from over. The village of Whistler was now their home, and they were proud to be the protectors of its magic and secrets. Over the next few years, they worked tirelessly to keep the village safe and to preserve the magic that lived within its borders. They also became deeply involved in the village community, forming strong bonds with its residents and becoming cherished members of the town. Their love for each other only grew stronger over time, and they became known as the guardians of Whistler. The villagers respected and admired them for their courage and bravery, and they often looked to them for guidance and protection. Nick and Ava's relationship was the source of much inspiration and joy in the village, and their love was seen as a shining example of what was possible when two people came together with a shared purpose. As they settled into their new lives in Whistler, they realized that they had finally found the happiness and contentment that they had been searching for. They were grateful for the journey that had brought them to the village and for the love that they had found there. However, they also knew that their journey was far from over. They were always on the lookout for any threats that might arise, and they were always ready to face any danger that came their way. Despite this, Nick and Ava remained confident and optimistic, knowing that as long as they were together, they could overcome any obstacle. They were grateful for the journey that had brought them to Whistler and for the love that they had found there, and they knew that their story was far from over. In the years that followed, Nick and Ava continued to protect the village of Whistler, and their love continued to grow stronger. They became known as the guardians of Whistler, and their story inspired countless others to embark on their own journeys of love and discovery. And so, it all began on a beautiful spring morning in the village of Whistler, where a young man and a girl across the street embarked on a journey that would change their lives forever. Together, they discovered the true meaning of love and the power of the human spirit, and their story will forever be remembered as a shining example of what is possible when two people come together with a shared purpose. And that concludes our journey through the beautiful village of Whistler and the story of Nick and Ava. We hope you enjoyed this tale of love, discovery, and bravery. If you did, be sure to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button to stay updated on our latest content. Your support helps us continue to bring you more engaging and inspiring stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay tuned.